Salam everyone. Welcome to installment number 4 of our preseason podcast with the GMs. I am your host Hashim alongside with Commissioner Zahid. Zahid, how's it going?
It's good, man.
So as you know, we'll be hosting these podcasts throughout the season with different guest hosts. It won't always be me and Z and different players throughout the year. If you're interested in hosting or being on the podcast, just email the league and let us know. Z, how much fun have you had with these podcasts this year?
It's been a lot of fun. Honestly, I was unsure how these would go, but obviously all of our GMs are characters in their own way, so it's been entertaining.
Speaking of characters, we're very happy to welcome one new GM and a returning GM that happens to be last year's champions. We welcome Bilal Javed of the Abbasids and Shamil Khadaroo of the Sultans.
Assalamu alaikum guys.
So both of you couldn't have had more different seasons last year, right? Bilal?
I agree. I wish I can go back in time.
But Sham won it all and Bilal lost them all.
So, what are you guys excited for? I know, Bilal, you're probably excited to win a game. Sham, what are you excited for?
I'm excited to see if we could repeat. Like our goal from the day after we won the championship, I talked and we said, the goal is to be the first team in BSL history to repeat.
So you celebrated for one day and then you're already worried about next year.
I did my pre-draft analysis on the day after the championship. Because I figured, I remember all the players.
Fresh in your mind.
Yeah. I did it that day, and I said, Shazad, let's do it. Let's go to be the first team in history to go back to back. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to trying to achieve that goal.
I think I'm looking forward to just make sure they don't repeat. So for now, that's the goal.
Well, you've taken players from their team, so I don't know if that will work out good or bad.
Hopefully it will.
So, Bilal, let's talk about last season if you're ready for that. Let's take a deep breath. But you guys have basically been, the Abbasids in general, the franchise has been the Cleveland Browns of BSL. What will make this year different for you guys?
I think the management changed. That's one of the reasons. The different approach, different people. Actually, if you see the Abbasids, the name is the same, but the players are totally different in the team. Different mindset. I think it's more like there's nothing wrong with the Abbasids brand or nothing wrong with the team. I think it's all comes down to when you actually have a bad start, if you have a better management, they actually pick up the game really good. They can back up their players. They can go from there. If you see individual performance even last year, I think we have a lot. Me, myself, Samir, there are a bunch of guys who actually performed really good in last year. But I think overall as a team, we're not playing as a team. So my biggest goal this year will be just make sure that everybody actually plays as a team. They're friendly. They're backing up each other, and then you will have a different result. You can live with the result as long as the team is actually, playing as a team. So whatever the result is, that's afterwards. But that's what I think will be different this year for me.
It sounds like Team Pakistan management.
To some level, yes. But again, we got coaches from different world now, so let's see what happens.
Okay, Sham, you already mentioned that you guys want to go back to back. Do you feel confident in the team you've put together to go back to back?
I like the squad that we have. Obviously, we're confident. I have Shazad. That's all I need, right? I'm going to counter what he said about the concept of having the team play as a team as a method of success. I actually draft my team completely differently. The way I look at how I'm going to draft a team and how you look at baseball is a game of individuals. So I need guys that have this, pride's maybe not the right word, but want to achieve individually, and then we'll just stick within the team framework in terms of what the team needs. So you don't hit a solo home run, which I've been guilty of a bunch of times. But you know what I mean?
Selfish.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that you, in baseball at least, you can't win individually. You have to have a team to win. Yes, you can actually have superstars in your team, but if you actually have balanced guys in your team, like your team, if you ask me, you guys were very balanced last year. Defensive, offensive.
Yeah, but everyone did their job individually, right? That, and that's what I mean. But it's not like in basketball, for example, if you have a team, you need everybody to shift a particular way to play defense, or offensive, be where you're supposed to be, and that's how you play as a team. But in baseball, it's not like that.
But see, that's the key.
Right? You need everybody to do their individual job.
But that's the key, though. The problem with the Abbasids last year, if you actually ask me, the main problem was we don't know what is the role, and I agree. Nobody knows what's exactly their role is, what they're supposed to do. There were so many shifts, there were so many changes last year, and I was not happy about it. I think after 6 or 7 games, majority of the team was like, okay, I'm going to play for myself. And that's what happens. So I don't think so you can win anything if your team is thinking that way.
Well, so let's talk about the team that we drafted. That was the question, right? Like, I'm excited about the team. Yeah.
The team that you put together, you're confident you've got the right guys and the right pieces, right? So it's like what you guys, I think you both are talking about the same concept, but in different ways, right? You need guys to understand their roles and accept their roles and play within those roles. Yes, you draft the best individual talented players because talent trumps everything, right? But those talented players, if you've got 4 guys that want to play shortstop, you're going to have 3 guys who are going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm talking about in terms of having that individual prize, like if let's say you have a bad weekend, I want the player that's gonna bother them that they had the bad weekend, not like I just came, had fun, it was good to see the brothers. I want that guy to say, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure I hit the cages, or Sham, let's make sure we get a BP. I can't play like that again, right? So I want those type of guys. I want the guys that want to perform, not only for the team but for themselves, right? For their own name, right? So that's what I look for. And then if we look at the team that we drafted, well, we were trying to draft as many Sultans from last year as we could, right? We knew we would lose Shaheen or Omar, depending on how the draft went. So we're happy to have Omar back. We were praying, and I tried to trade up into the second round to try to hope that Kamal would be there, but we lost Kamal. And then from there, there were some panic moments, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, there was some times in the draft that we were kind of concerned about what we were getting. But at the end of the day, we were really happy with what we got. We were able to bring back, the right side, Zayn and Faye. So we're happy to have them. I think they're an underrated
Are they
right
going to create a
infield.
Facebook page called The Right Side?
They wanted to put on their jerseys right and then the other guy right side, right? Right. So but they're underrated. Zayn won a Gold Glove. Faye, I think, was in contention for the first base Gold Glove. I think they're slept on in terms of how good they are as an infield, and we have some new players in the outfield. But one thing you're going to guarantee yourself with the Sultans is we're going to hit.
Going to Bilal, your team, everyone thought with the number 2 pick in the draft, it was a foregone conclusion that you'd go with your buddy Crazy. You went with Ismail, which no one can argue as being a fantastic pick. The guy's incredible. Did you do that to throw everyone off? Did you kind of give some smoke signals thinking that we're going to go with Crazy, or were you just set on Ismail because of the way he fit in your team from the start?
Actually, if I go by, like, a lot of people actually ask me what I'm going to go by. Well, they did not ask me. They were telling me, oh, so you're going with Crazy. So I didn't disagree with anybody. I'm like, sure. But it depends. Honestly speaking, Crazy was my choice at that moment. But it depends what happens in the draft. So I think the minute Imran got picked, I knew that I'm going to get one of, like, Shaheen or Ismail. So that's the moment when it actually changes my mind.
Yeah, when Imran got picked as a
if it
GM.
wasn't Imran at the time, I knew I would have went with him. But right at that moment, I know that either I'm going to get Shaheen or I'm going to get that, because I was looking at that point was, okay, I gotta fill the spots, like main spots, main positions. So
And it helps
now,
that your third base and shortstop are already covered with you and Samir, right?
And then Ismail, if I go by the batting, I think Crazy and Ismail both crazy batters, and you already know. But if I go by the defense, I think he have a little bit of an edge, like Ismail, and I played with him before, so he's a fun guy to play with. Like, I enjoy playing with him too. So. In all fairness, if Imran wasn't picked over there, I would have picked Crazy. But I think it changed it. And by the way, like, Crazy knew about it. If it happens, and then, he's not going to go for me. So that was the reason. It wasn't, like, planned or anything, but I'm happy with what I got.
Great. Now, the two of you made a couple of trades, but let's focus on the one, starting with the one that was made on draft day, whenever our commissioner Zahid was traded from white to orange. Tell us what happened over there, if it was discussed, or kind of what was both of your rationale in making that move.
Well, it wasn't when we were going into the draft. It wasn't our intent to take Zahid in the second round. We were hoping we would get Safwan in that round, and then when Safwan went to Nasrid just before our pick, we just looked at the board and Zahid was obviously the best talent that was available. So we took Zahid, and then as the draft progressed, we took a risk on a guy, Owais Nouri. I'd spoken to him before the draft, maybe a couple days before, and then we met him at the draft. It was a big guy, Zahid too at the table said, "Yo, take him," and then that kind of confirmed to us what we wanted to do anyway. So then we took him, and when we spoke to him, he said he wanted to play short, and Zahid had said he wanted to play short, or in the infield. So you got short or you have second, and we knew we wanted to take Zayn again, right, to try to get as many Sultans from last year as we had to try to repeat. So as the draft progressed and we looked at what we had in the outfield, we felt that Bilal would be willing to give us Kurum. And if you look at BSL in the last 2 years, whatever team has had Khizr has won the league. So we didn't have Khizr anymore. So we would figure if we take the better Chana boy, maybe that luck, comes to us. And I played with Kurum in BSL Knights, and I've seen the guy play center field, and he's a legit center fielder. So when that opportunity came where we could, move Oasis into shortstop and we could get Kurum back, and we got a couple picks, which, we would pick a little bit ahead of the Abbasids in there too. So we got a little bit in return there. We felt that it was the right move for us to make for a roster perspective, just to shore up our outfield. And that's why we made the trade.
I think for me, see, my draft was very simple. Like, I was actually going for the next best possible guy on the draft. So I was happy with Khorram too at the time, because I was looking for somebody who's going to play most likely who actually have speed, about 500 batting, and he can actually field, outfield. Sham came to me and he told me, and Zahid is available now there, and honestly speaking, it was no brainer for me at the time. Like, sure, either way I'm going to get the same position, but with Zahid I'm actually getting a lot more experience. So for me, having Ismail and Zahid and then Samir, that solidify my core.
It's like the Moguls from 2 years ago.
Yeah, so you can say that. I'm actually probably building the same thing.
Yeah, it's like the Moguls from 2 years ago.
So it did pretty good. Not a bad strategy.
So for me, this is what happens, and then that's about it. And if you notice that later pick, it kind of, again, I don't know why you guys went with Atif at the time, because that's what I gave you to pick somebody else, so you have your own. I'm a Sultans member, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But it worked out. I'm happy that I did the trade out, honestly speaking, at the time. You have no idea. Like, the minute Zahid was in my team, everybody was coming to me. He's like, "Oh, I will give up Zahid for this. I will give." I'm like, "Okay, buddy, I did not even have him yet."
Yeah. A lot of players, a lot of GMs came to me.
It was a little awkward for me because
Its experience matters.
When I walked in the draft late, obviously I was dealing with a family situation. Things were a little hazy. I couldn't see it clearly, or wasn't thinking clearly, or whatnot. And I walked in, and I hear the second we got into Isna, Imran was in the car with me. He's like, "The Sultans just picked you." I'm like, "What?" Anyways, we get in the draft, and I go up to Sham, with Shaz, sit down and whatnot. I was just not really saying much, and then they had the next two picks, and I told them who to take them to the next two picks. Right? It turned out they were thinking the same guys, and then a trade gets worked out. I wasn't unhappy about the trade, but I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. As long as I was going to a team, and I told Sham this at the draft when he was talking, "I'm going to trade you." I'm like, "Just please trade me to a team that has a pitcher. Don't trade me to somebody that doesn't have a pitcher and is going to take a pitcher in the end of the draft, because I know what's going to end up happening. I'm going to end up pitching." So that was the only criteria I told him. Just take somebody that has a pitcher already.
I think it works out for both of us, though. So.
Yeah. You took all the players I wanted, and I had to, find a way to. We really wanted to bring Sadar too, right? We missed on
the thing is, honestly, for Ibrahim Sadar, I just wanted to add this right now. Like, I'm surprised that he was dropped. To me, he was not even on my list in that round. I thought somebody else was going to go, because you're getting a pitcher, you're getting a lead batter, and even if he's not pitching for you, you can actually make him play fielding if you actually. Yeah. So I don't even know. So there are two guys I did not expect they're going to fall to me.
Actually, I had him there. Right. I had him in the pick that you took him. That's where I had him.
So I'm like, okay, I'm happy with what I'm going to get.
I don't think the Mughals would have passed on Ibrahim if he was available.
I know that. Yeah.
They would have taken him.
I had him late second round or early third round that he would go. I thought he'd be the first pitcher to go for sure, and he was, right? My whole draft strategy got ruined, right? Like I told you guys, I did it right at the end of the season, and then these guys named like all the first rounders, second rounders as GMs, right? So I was like, oh my god, now I'm the worst GM, and I have to try to figure out a draft strategy. It was so hard.
I think majority of the GMs are like assistant GMs. They're predictable.
There's only assistant. No, it was the GM.
About the new GM.
When they announced, because they didn't announce the new GMs until a month before the draft or something like that, right? And I was like, oh my god, so I had to kind of redo my whole first two rounds because, and that was a different pressure too, right? Like, I think the year before you're when I was assessing the tandems, I said, okay, we're in the middle of the pack. Me and Shazad were kind of in the middle of the pack, so we're. And then this year, I kind of felt we were near the bottom of the pack, as a twosome, and I was like, so it was difficult to figure out, how we were going to draft. Right? It was.
You draft good.
Yeah, I think I did okay, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
So who's this Oais Nuri guy? You know more about him than I do. I just saw him at the draft, and I'm like, if he's available at that pick, you take him at that pick.
Yeah,
there's upside.
I think he'll be a first or second rounder next year based on what I've seen so far, right? So I messaged him on Facebook the day before the draft, I think. So I looked him up, and that's what I do with all new players, right? I look him up on Facebook and I'll message him, whatever, right?
You never messaged me.
Not when you were already in the league when I became a GM, right? So I messaged him. He said he had played baseball as a kid and he'd been playing at Powerade for the last 5-7 years, something like that, playing third base and shortstop. So I looked at his pictures and then we got to meet him in person. He was a big guy, and I said, if this guy's played baseball as a kid and he's and we've seen how baseball players have done in the league, especially after they've had some softball experience. And this guy had 5 or 7 years of softball experience. This is a guy we could take a risk on and see how it goes. And I've only seen him once, or I've seen him twice actually. And yeah, both times he's been a stud. Right? He'll be good. He'll be good.
And I believe you.
Yeah. I'm not. I could have said, hey, he might have to work out some kinks. I'm not gonna lie about it. He's gonna be good. And that's what makes us excited.
Showed up at the exhibition game and everybody's talking about where's Oais? Where's Oais? Oais? I'm sorry, he's right there. No, not that Oais, the other Oais.
So we went.
I still don't know who the guy is, by the way.
So we went to. That's one thing that's changed as being a champion. Last year, before the season, I would message GM, say, hey, if you guys are doing a BP, I'm around. I don't mind coming. People say, yeah, come, Sham, come. Now, nobody invites me to anything. No one tells me to come for their BP.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah. So the Mamluks, they were really short 1 week for a BP, and they invited us out, and I always came, and he hit the ball really well that day, and chatter starts.
That was the last time they invited you.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Hassan since then. Yeah.
Bilal, we spoke about Oais, obviously. I think this year you drafted most guys that have been in the league in the past. I can't recall. Sorry, I don't have the rosters in front of me. But who do you see as being your sleeper picks? As the guy being I can't believe this guy fell. You mentioned Sardi already, but anyone else that comes to mind being I can't believe this guy fell over here, and being a sleeper pick for you?
I don't think anybody in my team is going to be actually a sleeper pick. There's going to be more than one, or everybody's going to play what they're supposed to do. So if you take a look at the averages, you take a look at what people actually did in the past. I don't have any surprises on the team. Everybody gives me the same thing what they keep on doing it for the past years. I think we're good. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think coming to the practices that we've had, I think the one guy that I think went under the radar, and we almost got lucky that we picked him, and I think Samir saw him on the list of players undrafted, was Arshad.
Yeah.
Right? And the few times I've seen him, I never really paid attention to him when he was on the teams.
I think fielding, I was very surprised.
Very good.
Seeing him in the outfield,
I didn't expect that. I remember Samir was no, he's really good. I'm okay, let's go with that. So technically that is Samir's.
Yeah,
he told me to go
I
for it.
think 2 years ago, I think even with Daher but the Mamluks put him as their Gold Glove guy for the outfield because they were that confident. He's that good of an outfielder. I think he's really, really good on his day with whenever you pair him with other guys. So I think
that's my point though, right? Even if you still look at his stats. So fielding, obviously, I didn't play with him, so I don't know him much. But now I'm looking at it. Hey, listen, he can field.
Yeah, he's a very good outfielder.
Still, his stats are still good anyway. So even if he does the same thing, we're good.
Yeah.
So Sham, who are your sleeper picks this year? Who are you expecting to step up and help the Sultans get to the promised land?
Well, I want to shout out Shazad, right? I don't know if you guys are watching the NBA playoffs, right? You see Giannis and the way he makes everyone around him better just by the way he plays. Shazad does the same thing for the Sultans, right? He just he's an energy that just makes everybody want to perform. I think Zayn, he got some flack. Some people saying that Hamid is the better Malik. No, that's wrong.
Did he tell you to say that?
No, I'm telling you. I think people forget how the first year I came into the league, I played with Zayn. Zayn was an all-star, and I think people forget how good of a hitter he can be. And now he's shown that he's a Gold Glove at second base. So I'm expecting Zayn to really have a good year at the plate. And I'm surprised Zia Ali fell to us in the. What did I get him in the 8th round?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got him in the 8th round.
Most improved player coming
right.
With that,
He hit close to 500. He had over 550 on base percentage. He had power. So, and he took a lot of walks. And I like guys that take walks in those rounds because it tells me that even if they're not reaching base, they're swinging good pitches. They're not swinging at their first pitch generally, right? So they're taking pitches. And so Zia Ali for us falling that far was great. And I played with Fuzail in BSL nights. And I know in the league, in Sundays, he only hit in the, high twos, I guess, right? I can't remember exactly. But in nights, he was lights out for us. He almost hit 500. He was 500 most of the year, and then maybe had a bad game near the end. But he has a lot of potential to be a 400 to 500 hitter. Like if he just, everybody knows Fuzail. He's in his own head, right? Like if he just sticks to his mechanics and just plays, he's fantastic. I think he's a better hitter than me, right? Like that was a debate on who's going to do the home run derby for us at nights, it was me or him, and he's that good.
Now, we've talked a lot about both of your teams, but who do you guys see as being the top 3 teams in the regular season and the teams to beat besides each other? Bilal, we'll start with you.
I think we were talking about it before we started doing
Yeah.
this. Personally, obviously, I always pick my own team, so I think Abbasids is actually up there. But if I talk about the strong teams, I think Sultans is pretty strong. Nasrs are really, really strong. Mamluks are there. I personally think Moguls are actually there too. Ottomans, again, if I go by 2-3 years ago, their team is very similar to who actually beat me in the finals. So I can't really say that they're not going to be good. So I don't know. They if they're the same level what they are, they can be good too. So I think the teams are pretty balanced, if you actually ask me. There are probably 1 team or 2 teams which are like, below what I think. But other than that, I think everybody's pretty strong.
Sam, how about you?
It's hard to tell. Like I think we're going to be good. Obviously, I think we have a very good top 6 and we have a very good bottom 6. So I think we're a complete team. But I think the Abbasids, like on paper, they look really, really good. I love Sadar, right? Shout out to Sadar. He knows I love him. And I think he's going to be a very good pitcher for them this year. And then you can't discount a team that has Awais, Rehan, and Shaheen on it. So they're going to be good. The Nasrids, they just took all our players and they took Khizr. And so
they got Khizr. That's all they did.
yeah, but they got Tucky too. They got Tucky too. Yeah, Khizr.
And they got Tansir back. So
Yeah. And I'd love to see Tansir Bai win one when I'm not GM anymore. I think people are sleeping on the Mamluks. I think the Mamluks have a really, really good team. They have a lot of power, and I think that Umair Wasim guy has a chance to be very, very good in our league.
just to add to yours, I think it's just this power. If you take a look at their speed, they have a lot of speed on the team. If you take a look at it, look at the roster they actually have.
Hassan, Tahir, Yusuf.
They're fast, like all of them. So
Even like Crazy and Wasim aren't slow.
Even Crazy is
they're
Crazy's
bigger
fast.
guys, but
So
they're
I'm saying,
fast.
they got a lot of
They're
speed.
powerful, but they're
Yeah.
fast.
So
Yeah.
I personally think that their bottom's a little weak, but if you go by the top, they're pretty.
Don't sleep on AK too. AK is a fantastic.
Yeah,
But
pitcher.
he's missing though, right? So he's missing like.
Yeah, but he'll be there for the playoffs. They just need to get in.
I know, but I'm
right?
saying in the regular season,
They're going to get in, and
And AK in the playoffs is another level.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
intensity is
He
just,
changes.
He changes.
I'm just going to shout out AK. I don't remember if you guys remember the Super Sunday. So he missed the first inning. Good luck for Hassan getting AK to be on time. But he misses the first inning. Shazad pitches that inning, and we get 7th, obviously, right? And then AK shut the I think it was the Celtics we played, right? The Celtics out the rest of the game. Celtics didn't score the rest of the game.
I saw that.
So that's the type of pitcher AK is, right?
I think as a neutral person, if I'm not in a part of this league, probably if I have to pick team, and then I think on paper when I saw the draft, probably I'll go for like Nasr Sultans. That's my picks. If I'm not in BSL, that's what I think.
All right, he's being modest. You're going to put out a team that could have 8 guys hit
See,
over 500.
honestly speaking, like Zahid knows. If I was 100%, I would have been saying like yes, and I'm not. I'm playing actually with a lot of pain, but alhamdulillah, I'll be good. Inshallah, the name will change.
Inshallah. I'll give you shifa.
Still got 3 weeks till opening day, so hopefully.
And this guy's not letting me bat. So
No, Bilal's not allowed to touch a bat or a ball until the week after Ramadan is over.
Ismail was messaging me today like about cricket. I was so
Don't
tempted.
let
I was so tempted. I was
listen,
like, yeah.
You gotta let that wrist heal. Okay, so let's talk about your team charities, right? So both of you guys, like all the other GMs, have selected the charity that they're going to represent. Shame, you guys have always stuck with one charity, but you changed it up this year. Who's your charity this year?
Our charity this year is Human Concern International. So they provide medical relief, food relief. They sponsor children all around the world where there's conflict. So we felt it was, we won last year. We had supported a charity that was dear to my heart for a long time. So we felt that, I felt personally that I wanted the team that was there now to kind of pick the charity that they felt very connected to, and I felt satisfied that we had given a good amount of money to the charity that I liked. Human Concern International is
there
our
somebody
charity.
on your team that has a relationship with them? What made you pick that charity?
We were looking at what's happening in different parts of the Muslim world, right? I think growing up in the West, we can become desensitized to the suffering that our brothers and sisters are facing in parts like Syria, Yemen. So we wanted to just hold on to that notion that that the Muslim body is all one body. If Muslims are suffering one part of the world, that we should be suffering here. So we wanted to lend support to our brothers and sisters in different parts of the world.
Do you feel that way when you're playing against somebody? You want to feel Bilal suffering from the Abbasids last year?
Look, I'll be straight. Like when we're playing, I'm happy when Hashim hits a home run because I can see him trot, right? So,
I don't even know how to take it. I don't even know what that means.
Against my pitcher, no.
It's the best trot in the league, right? So, I'm happy to see, my brothers, performing well and having a good day. As long as at the end we win by one, I'm fine. I don't have any, bad thoughts about anybody or anything like that. I want everybody to have fun and perform well and feel good about themselves. And that's what I think the league preaches, right? We want that sort of philosophy that we're competing, yes, but we don't wish anybody to perform poorly or to get injured or anything like that. Like it's
Yeah, for sure.
And with having a draft system, you get a chance to play with a lot of guys in the future. So even if there's someone you had bad blood with for whatever reason, or guys that rubbed you the wrong way because something happened in a previous game, they might be a future teammate, right? And it's just the nature of having a draft. You get a chance to play with different guys, and that's what brotherhood's all about. A chance to build new relationships and build that chemistry amongst one another whenever it's different people every single year. And you're seeing that this year with so many teams really mixing it up.
Sorry, can I tell one little quick story? So during the year, last year, at the end of the games, like games that mattered, in the lineup, I tend to tell players if they played really well, I'll say something nice about them, right? And I told Tahir in particular, like I played with Tahir 2 years ago, and I told him at the end of the finals that I was so happy to see him performing at a level that he's at. Guys like that. And there was another guy who messaged me afterwards too. I had said something nice about him and the season he had, and they message you after, right? And say, thanks, that meant a lot. It was a hard year for me 2 years ago, and I was happy to perform well, and I was happy you guys won. And I think that's what we want out of the league, right? So I think that's good. Say something nice about your opponent when they've done something.
I think it's good to be competitive on the field, and then off the field. At least for me, it's been like 5 years I've been playing this league. I never have any. I heard a lot of rumors about me that Bilal's pissed off at this guy and this guy. But off the field, I actually don't. I just go meet these guys and they talk to me, just like normal buddies. You're actually talking. I have no actual. So, which is a good thing about this league. I'm honestly speaking, actually, I've been playing in a lot of different leagues. I've never played in a league where you're actually being so competitive on the field, and the minute you go off the field, everybody's like sitting together and praying or talking to each other. There's no actual beef going on. That surprises me. Like, you guys know, like, I've been playing cricket for the longest time of my life, and you have no idea. You don't even say hi to each other when the game is actually done. So, this is, mashallah, really good, if you actually ask me.
But let's hear more about the charity that you guys are playing for this year.
Actually, I'll have Zayed talk about it because you guys chose the charity, so you can explain better.
Okay, well, Muslim Welfare Center. So, we've volunteered as a league at Muslim Welfare Center for the last 3 years, helping out with the Regent Park program. They're planning to start a program in the Milton area, so the team said, well, it's an opportunity for a new project that's starting, for us to help start that project, and then inshallah we'll get the benefit of the Sadaqah Jariyah going forward, as long as that project continues. So there's an opportunity that us as a team can pass up. So that's the charity. So anything else, Sham?
No, nothing comes to mind.
No, you're never short on things to say.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna say, watch, Shazad's gonna win MVP. He's gonna win Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, that's it. Shout out Shazad.
Who's Are you picking Owais Nuri to be the Rookie of the Year?
I think it's between him and Omer Wasim. I think those are the two guys that. Yo, shout out to Basel too. Like, I don't know if you guys have heard of
You're
Basel.
forgetting Safwan is actually there too, so I'll be surprised.
Yeah, Safwan.
Abdullah's
Safwan
there
is
too, man.
Abdul Akhtar. Yeah. Yo, there's some
You can't
great
say
talent
like,
this year.
Because
Yeah.
look, like probably he's a better batter, the guy you guys actually have. But look at Safwan, the way he feels, you can't take that away.
Well, they're both gonna be playing short, right? So always gonna be playing short for us. Safon's gonna be playing short for the Nasrids. Yeah, it's gonna come down to how they field and how they bat. I think, but Owais has a chance to win that
does.
Rookie of the Year.
I agree.
I think it's gonna be really close.
It's gonna be close between like
There's a
couple guys.
lot of really good players this year.
Basel might be
Better
pitcher of the
coming.
year. I've seen Basel pitch. I played a game with him this week. I've seen Basel pitch. Basel can pitch and he can hit. So we were pleased to see that. I remember me and Zane played in that game, and every time Basel went up, we just looked at each other and just smiled. So and Sean we have Sean too. Sean won an MVP in Scarborough in some league that he played in there. He could be very good too. He's gonna. We took gambles, and I think they paid off, right? So we'll see how
Is that
how
the
the
co-ed
season
league in
goes.
Scarborough?
I don't know. We didn't ask them
There's
what
only
league.
one league I played in. Trust me, I will never play in that league.
Yeah, trust me. There's more than one league.
I'm
in
telling
Scarborough.
you, there's gonna be. I'm telling you right now, Zayas is gonna get hit probably in 20 games, like 20 home runs. The field is that small. That league.
Oh no.
I played 2 games, and both of my missed shots were like out of the park. I'm like, yeah, I'm not playing here again. It's a waste of time. I hope he's not from there.
Look, he's hitting leadoff for us. If he gets on base, Shazal will bring him home. It doesn't matter.
That's true, actually. That's actually true.
All right. Awesome, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This was the last GM podcast, so you guys had the opportunity to go last and hear what everybody else had to say about you.
Yeah.
And then have your rebuttal. So I think it was fun. We enjoyed both your company, and I'm sure the rest of the league did. So thanks.
I heard I was called the White Walker, so I'm going to call myself the Night King of Bridgewood 2 now. Instead of the King of Bridgewood 2.
We increased the size of the fence at Birchwood 2 just for
Spoiler
you.
alert.
So that means
Something happens to Night King. So I don't know if that's
No, but that means that made me Jon Snow and he's Arya.
All right, awesome. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you.
Yes, that was-